Okay, so quick thing before. You probably have, if you're here, you've probably read my book or you follow me on Facebook. So you know I can probably not, I always say what is ever in my head. I don't have a filter. So if you are easily offended by anything, chances are I'm probably going to say something that's going to offend you. So any sensitive people might want to walk out.
That's not me.
It's even worse now that it's live.
Are you going to write during your?
Oh, no, I have. Shh.
Maybe we were keeping you from something
I have
here.
a thing.
You have a thing.
Okay. So,
are you guys ready to go?
You have a thing, really?
Just 1 second, guys. 1 second. TJ's being. You do not want me to sing. Trust me.
It's starting.
They're doing their thing right now.
Okay. All right. First question. Who wants to go first?
Hi, TJ.
Hi.
I've been dying to ask this since I started reading your book. But you've got Bear, you've got Paul, you've got Ben. Their brains never shut off.
Yes.
And they keep everything in there. Is that you? Is that you? Or is it named after somebody?
You've watched their videos, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
You have to give yourself a treat and go onto YouTube and watch the videos.
That is, yes, that is definitely me because I don't stop talking. So, but if anybody needs to know, I am Paul, like through and through. So that's it. If any character I could have based upon me, it's Paul. So, but yeah, everybody, all my characters that don't stop talking, that's just because I never do either.
Next question.
How soon is the kid going to grow up and get his happy ending?
Bear, Otter, and the Kid 3 is finished. Actually, let me take that back real quick. I need a volunteer from the audience. Volunteer, anybody? Okay, can you come up here? You over here. Hey, Bear. Go ahead and have a seat. Oh. You see what's written on this? Right here? I want you to type that for me. Right there. You're doing so good. Are you a writer? Bear, the Kid 3 is done.
All right, next question. I'll make my way back that way.
I just started reading Bear, Otter, and the Kid. How hard was it to write the kid? Because he doesn't seem like a normal... And like I said, I just started reading it. Everybody said to read it, so I wanted the autograph before you leave today. But he's abnormal, and I have a 5-year-old. And I'm thinking that my son's going to be like that, and it scares me.
Well, see, that's the funny thing. When Bear, Otter, and the Kid first came out, I read a lot of stuff where it said that the kid was unrealistic because of how he spoke.
I didn't mean that.
No. Hold on, I'm almost done. But then I received a letter from a parent with a gifted child, and they told me that their kid was exactly like the kid. And to me, he's the first voice that I ever heard in my head when I wanted to start writing it. And he's the voice that I still hear constantly because the kid is always going to be with me and always going to be talking to me. But to me, he's realistic because I've known gifted children and I know how they speak and how they talk. So to me, he's authentic. So.
Are there any plans for the Secret to Burn?
So that ended on a cliffhanger, and that was 2 years ago. And how do I phrase this? Yes, one day. The problem is that I wrote, at that point, that was my second book. That came after Bear, Otter, and the Kid. And I think that story was too big for me at the time. I think that I wrote something that was too big. And I don't want to write a story just to finish it. I want to write a story that I know is going to be good. So I can't tell the sequel until I actually know what I'm going to be saying with it. So there will be, but it's going to probably. It's not on my plan right now.
My question is for Eric, and that is, a lot of your stories are set in the real world, but they have a fantasy element. How do you write that so that it works?
That's how I see the world, I guess. I'm a little nuts. I've always seen the kind of the magical side. I guess it's magical realism, and that's how that's actually my kind of books I read. And so yeah, I'm a little loopy, I guess.
I don't Facebook for you or Twitter or whatever. I'm sorry, but Sandy, does he get a story from Tell Me It's Real?
Yes.
Yes.
Since I just finished this book, I'm going to decide what the next book is going to be, but Sandy and Darren will get their hate at first sight story, so yeah.
Mine's for Eric. Actually, we met because of Woke Up in a Strange Place. Most powerful story I've told. Telling how your roots in your own religion from growing up influenced that.
How did being raised a Jehovah's Witness
Influence later your beliefs now?
Well, I mean, basically, that kind of made me hate religion. And then I found a priest who was teaching class in my college, who I found wasn't as religious, and religion didn't necessarily mean spirituality. And from then, my spirituality started to develop on my own, where I wasn't basing it on what somebody else was telling me. And I think that's where you where a truly spiritual person comes from. You know, that they're when you can delve into yourself and bring that out, and that's where that book came from. I mean, I got sick, and my father, I told this on that video. I'm sorry, I'm really nervous. So.
You're doing great. Great.
But yeah, I got sick, and I had that vision of my father on the shore, and that's where Woke Up in a Strange Place came from, and my own spirituality has developed from that, and it's gone beyond that story as well. So
just to expand one more question. When I think of Wake Up in a Strange Place, it's like his dream that he's going through.
right,
And I know that you and Sam, as he would call him,
yeah,
are like working with that dream travel.
right.
Have you met her yet in a journey?
You know what? We actually, I'm not crazy. But I've seen her a couple times in my dreams.
Oh.
That's my nightmare about women.
Having had the pleasure of working closely with both of you, you guys have incredibly different writing styles.
Yeah.
How did that work when you co-authored something?
Oh, Ghoul's Gym. Yeah. Well, it was
Really easy.
It really actually was. I was surprised. Honestly, I did not know if that would work, because in case you don't know, I have a tendency to ramble. But it was natural. It felt very natural, very quick and easy to do. We worked an outline and then just started writing.
Which is something you don't like to do.
I hate outlines so much.
And I love outlines. I love outlines.
God, it's so annoying. But I did. I worked an outline, kind of.
Yeah.
Well, he wrote the outline, and then he sent it to me, and I was like, that's such a good idea.
It kind of brings me to the next question. Has the fact that you're perceived in the whole Facebook land following of you two as a pair, has that affected your individual writing in a positive or negative way, do you feel? I mean, are you affected by that? I mean, your own phenomenon, Arvin, or whatever you want to call it. Has that changed the way you view yourself as a writer?
No, I think we maintain our own individuality when it comes to writing, because we do have completely different styles until we decide to write together, which we did, and that just matched very well.
Right. And the idea actually to write together was basically just me flirting with him. IRL.
Yeah, it worked. And it worked.
Michael has the best questions ever. From both of their books?
Yeah, each of your characters.
Who would have
the angriest sex?
angry sex? He wants to know which two of your characters would have the angriest sex.
With each other? Oh, no, from your books. Okay, good.
Yeah, no, one from your book and one from your book.
Oh,
if they were to get together, who would have the
Oh.
angriest sex? And you can't say TJ and
So we do. Still, probably from Jake and Yuli from Zombie Boys. They're in the same book that we wrote together, but they're pretty hardcore. Yeah, they did have pretty angry sex. That was like right when the book opened. Right. It was all like horny smut. And that was your idea.
Oh, so I just had to follow up to that. And there are more planned for the Ghouls Gym series, and when are we getting it?
Well, yeah, there is. We do, because the lovely Jeff Knight back there, and with Wild City is we think we can continue with the series because it did end cliffhangery again.
Right.
But we have a plan for, I think,
4 more books
in the zombie series, and now that I finished with the kid's story, I'm able to focus, I think, more attention to. We have a really good outline involving drag queens. So yeah, there'll be more. There'll be 4 more stories in the zombie series.
The question is for Eric. What do you actually have coming up, releasing outside of what you just told us?
Let's see. I have next, I guess starting in January, I have a horror novel called The Rascal coming out, and I have the re-release of The Rest is Illusion, and then 2 big epic novels, Terms We Have for Dreaming and Wave Goodbye to Charlie, some point. And they're all from Wild City, so. Oh yeah, and then of course the zombie.
Hi, I was wondering, do you set out with the intention of writing a series, or do you write one book and then it spirals from there?
For me, the only series I've actually written was Jasper Lane, which was Subsurdity and Suburbalicious, and I think that series is pretty much ended because it sold horribly. But yeah, no, that was the only one I actually set out intent to write a series for.
For me, Bear Honor the Kid was meant to be a standalone book. There was going to be no sequel to that book. But then it's not even when it came out and it did what it did, which that just shocked the hell out of me that so many people have read about them. But the follow-up books have been planned now. I know how many books are going to be for them, but Tell Me It's Real was always designed to have 3 books in that series, so there's going to be 2 more follow-ups of that, and then zombie books, and then Burn whenever I get around to it. So.
What's it like living with an author?
Keep in mind, you have to go home with each other.
It is so awesome. Thank you for asking. No, it's really good because, you know, he inspires me creatively. So I'm able to write because, you know, he gives me good vibes for it. So we're awesome together.
So sweet.
Sort of a tail end to that question. Do you guys beta each other's work, or do you keep that sort of separate and out of it?
Separate. Separate and out of it, because I can only imagine the emotional devastation I would have if I gave him one of my books. He'd be sleeping on the couch.
Next question?
When can we expect Otter and the Kid, the number 3, to come out?
Well, since it's finished, what I have to go back and correct some things from the beginning. What I do when I finish a book is I typically will sit on it for a couple of weeks just to give myself some breather space, just so I can step away from the story a little bit. Then I'll go back and finish it, submit it to Dream Spinner. Hopefully they're like, yeah, we'll publish it. And then I hope, if all goes well and the timeline of the past can be any consideration of it, I would think probably the first part of 2014.
With your big move to a new place, from a very warm place to a not very warm place, is that inspiring you for any type of other stories?
To be honest, I haven't had enough time to even think about it, because I just moved across the country like 3 weeks ago, and I've just been trying to get the house in order so it actually looks presentable and not like I am a hoarder. Because I kind of am, and it's embarrassing. But when I was packing up my old house, I found like receipts from 1997 that I should have thrown away, but I couldn't because I might need them at some point.
I'll make my way up front here, just a second.
On the move front, how has Otter made the adjustment to new living accommodations?
Oh yeah, Otter's my cat. We drove cross-country in a U-Haul, me and my brother, and my cat in a laundry basket because I forgot to put her in a vet moving or a pet moving thing. So she went with us, and she's totally fine. She's totally cool. She's doing what she normally does, and it's, if you don't, she hates everybody and everything except for him. She loves him. It's the weirdest thing in the world. So she's doing good.
Oh, good.
Since you said you know how many are going to be in the Bear, Otter, and Kid series, can you tell us?
4. One more after this. And that book is going to be hard for me to write, so don't expect it for a little while, because I'm going to be like, this is so hard. Just not because it's going to be sad or anything bad's going to happen, which it probably will, but I'm just saying because I don't want to say goodbye to them. I don't ever want to say goodbye to them, but you have to at some point, because you can only go on for so long before, because I don't ever want to get to the point where it's like, hey everybody, Bear, Otter, and the Kid 23 is coming out. So I don't want to get, there has to be a point when you have to say goodbye, and I just need to get to that point where I'm able to do that, because every time I finish one of their books, I'm just devastated that it's over.
So now, after the big move, does the couch fit?
It fits! It does! I'm so happy!
You are. You're right.
Can I ask a slightly personal question?
Yes.
It's for both of you.
Okay.
I want you to name the #1 physical attribute and emotional attribute that you like about him, and same for him.
Can I start with physical? Have you seen his arms? Holy fucking gun show.
Can we get a demonstration?
Come on, just do it.
Show us the gun.
Emotionally, nobody ever has gotten me like he has. So.
For him, he's got. No, it's his ass. He's got a beautiful ass.
Again, can we get a demonstration?
Like, he makes me laugh more than anybody I've ever met.
About a year ago, I won first place grand prize in
Oh,
a poetry, worst poetry contest that you held. And one of my prizes was having my name in the second burn book, which may not be coming out, and that concerns me. So I was thinking, what are the chances of a bear, otter, and the kid and Landin?
I'll talk to you after the Q&A. She did though. In case you didn't know, I had a bad poetry contest last year when Who We Are came out, and her bad poem was literally one of the funniest things that I have ever read, and it was amazing. So one day it will happen, I promise.
Okay, so you said that Bear was supposed to be a standalone.
Mm-hmm.
What changed and when? Was it us readers? Was it the kid?
That was part of it. The readers, obviously, I never ever. I mean, I don't think anybody ever expects their first novel to be successful, but the fact that it was just blew me away. But at the same time, it was mostly the kid, because I knew that after I finished it, I kind of thought myself kind of a dick when I finished it because of the fact that I didn't explain a lot of things that more. I think I should have explained things like with the mother coming back, you know, what happened with that. I thought I could explain that a little bit better, but those characters are always gonna, because they're my first, and again, I never expected to have the attachment to them that I did.
Spoiler alert! I know!
Oh, sorry, you're Okay. From this point on, if you're in here, I'm assuming you know what the fuck happened, so let's move on. I'm sorry. But to me, if I'm going to write a sequel, it's never going to be because I can slap a number 2 or a number 3 on a story just because the first one was successful. I want to make sure that if I tell a story, it's a story worth telling. So that's why I'm doing it.
This is for both of you. Back to what we asked Jamboree. Do you read your reviews and how do you take them?
I don't read reviews. And the reason being, I think, is because, and again, this is not to offend any author in here who does, but to me, reviews are not for me. Or reviewers, right. Reviews are not for me. I really don't think that they are. I think they're for other readers. It's nice to get a good review, and it makes me feel warm and fuzzy when I get to read that. But to me, reviews are not necessarily for me, and that's what I think. There's a big issue with readers and reviews and authors, because I see all the time with authors responding negatively to reviews, and I think that's a very dangerous thing to do now, and it seems to be happening more and more and more. And I mean, it's a bad review. If you have to read it, then move on. Don't try to call somebody out.
Yeah, I'm kind of addicted to reading reviews. I'll read them until I come across a really bad one, and then I'll spend the next 2 days like crying, and I won't touch the review sites ever again, or for like a week or so. No, I'm getting better at it though.
But here's the thing: everybody that writes reviews, whether it's good or bad, that's awesome that you guys do that, because of the fact, because I would not be where I am at without people talking about my books. So the fact that you do take the time to write reviews, whether it be Goodreads, Amazon's, wherever you write them, that is what sells our books. So I could never ever thank you enough for doing what you guys do as far as writing reviews, because again, word of mouth is the reason where I'm at right now. So.
And as far as reviews go, I mean, you can read a person who really didn't get your book or doesn't like the book, and it'll be a fantastic review. I mean, Miss Lanny here, she didn't like one of my books, and the review was so eloquent and so beautifully put that I love her. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, it doesn't, as long as you don't take it personally and just go off on the person, I I feel like I'm repeating myself.
All right, we have about 15 more minutes.
Wow.
You guys got a little extra time. 4:15. 4:15 is your end time.
Into the River. When I first started reading the book, and for several chapters, I'm thinking this guy's laying in a hospital in a coma, and all this is going in his head. He's going to wake up, and it's going to be his nurse that's taking care of him. Did you have? Was he really the angel when you started?
Yeah.
Or was he was?
He was completely. Cal from Into This River I Drowned was always going to be the angel that started out with. But yeah.
And have you ever thought? I would think that would make a fantastic movie.
Out of all of my books, if they could get a budget big enough, Into This River I Drowned would be the one that I'd want to see made into a movie, because I would love to see that on the screen. Oh, Jesus.
No, this one's good. You're off the hook. No, this is an easy one. So I've read quite a few of your books, Eric, and I'm just constantly amazed at your different writing styles. It's almost like, I mean, you definitely have a voice, but you can write the Jasper Lane series, which was hilarious in my opinion. I love that series. And then, I read some of your other books that were more serious, or some romances, and then your zombie series. What is your favorite type of book to read? To write, and how do you get all of these ideas, and where does that come from?
Oh wow. My favorite type of book to write is the surreal, magical realism, that kind of thing. As far as I don't, what was it?
So like your comedy books, a lot of people will just focus on comedy because, like that's just their voice and how they write, but you do comedy, you do the surrealism, you have so many different aspects of your writing, and it just seems like sometimes it's from different people. It's just really cool how you do that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, and a lot of that comes, my inspiration comes from like the dreams I have, and music. Music is a huge inspiration for me. I am in music horror, and so yeah, I love that question.
Thank you.
Eric, how does it feel to be a magical realist living in a world that is not so magical, and how are you able, I'm assuming that TJ's not the same kind of magical realist, but how did you two connect? Because obviously you have, and how does that work as far as the way your perceptions of things are, which could be different from the rest of the world? Do you ever feel out of step with the rest of the world?
Yeah, that was a fantastic question.
Definitely. As far, that first part, that about not the magical realism in an unmagical world. That's, yes. I mean, you look on the news and everything is just so ugly, and that's, there are times I can't even watch the news, and so it puts a dent in what you're writing, actually, for me anyway.
Is it hard to connect with a lot of different people? Because I find that true myself.
Yeah.
You don't find very many people that can understand what you're trying to say.
Right. And I'm kind of antisocial, which I guess you kind of see that, but the person like me who actually believes in actual real magic in the world, that there was something out there, is it's very few of us.
I kind of want to piggyback a question that was asked earlier about the baiting. You said that you don't beta each other's works, but do you read each other's books? And have you guys gotten into arguments if you didn't like some part of one another's books? I'm just curious about how that works with two authors being in a relationship with each other. Are you each other's biggest fans, or do you argue about books?
This may be a little bit surprising, but we really don't read. I've read a couple of his books, and he's read Bear Otter and the Kid and John and Jackie.
Yeah.
Because he was that. But the funny thing is that we tend to, at least when we write more fantastical of our books, we tend to almost write the same. With Azrael and the Lightbringer and Mingled Destinies of Crocodiles and Men, with my Into This River I Drowned, they kind of It's weird because they kind of mesh together,
Right.
and we never read each other those books before, but it was weird because they connect and they have the same themes going along with them. But no, I don't. I've read a couple of his things that haven't come out yet. Like I've read The Rascal, which is fantastic, but we tend not to do that just because it's the idea of keeping things personal and professional. So.
Switching gears here a little bit, my question for Eric is not about writing, it's about cover designing. As an artist and graphic designer myself, my eye gets caught by really interesting, stunning, or unique cover designs. You know, there's the floating headless male torsos, we see all that all over the place. I'm really impressed with Mingled Destinies and Ezra Lightbringer. Can you tell us a little bit about the artwork, what inspired it, and the artist?
Thank you. That is my sister who took that photo. Amy Morrison, the photo, I mean, that was all her. The sepia and everything was actually, I think, Wild City doing that. But the construction, the art direction, that was all my sister doing that, and that's her friend posing for her. Yeah, when I got that photo back, or I mean, the proofs of that back, I was stunned. I mean, I knew my sister was a great photographer, but I had no idea.
Well, she did a wonderful job.
Yeah, it was amazing. I didn't know.
This is not intended as a dirty question. I just want to state that for the record.
I knew this was coming.
Just for the record. You guys met last year at Toronto, right?
We did.
What was one thing back then that you would have never guessed about the other person?
Good question.
Something that you're surprised to know. It could be anything, like music or something that they listen to, something they like.
We should not talk about music. He thinks I'm musically challenged. I just think he's musically old.
I see quiet later.
I'm a big singer-songwriter, folk listener. I love Tracy Chapman, Amy Harris, all those, you know, really great.
Oh.
He likes it.
I love Britney Spears. Honestly, we had been talking a long time before that, because I wrote a review and obviously of Woke Up in the Same Place and landed myself a man. So. But one thing, what? Oh, that's right. When I first wrote that review, he thought I was a woman.
I saw the initials, and I was just like, I don't know. I was just like, thank you.
No, I honestly.
And now you like his penis.
I do. I love his penis. Just so we're clear. But no, he again. Nobody gets me like he does. It's I'm neurotic. I talk too much. I overthink everything, and he's the one that makes me calm. So.
All right. We have about 5 more minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Do you guys want to do say off
We
top
can
of
have
your
one
head, or do
more
you wanna keep-
one more
okay.
question. You probably take.
One more question. Oh, it's
TJ.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. My favorite book that you've written is John and Jack. I think it's just fantastic.
Thank you.
And it's a very, the theme was of the compilation was to be different than your normal style. Do you think that you'll do anything more in that style?
John and Jackie was born of a desperation that that was the book I initially started writing after I finished Bear Otter and the Kid, and in my head I had it be this huge multi-generational novel that followed, that probably was going to be split into 3 or 4 parts that followed this couple through their lives for 50 years, but it ended up being too big of a book for me to write like that, and I kept coming back to it, a lot of false starts with it, but then I sat down one day and thought, well, why not try to write a short? So I set a word count that I'd never done that before. I was going to say I'm only going to go to 20,000 words, and that's going to be the whole story. Obviously, I blew right past that because I tend to do that. And but as far as a short form story or a novella, I have some ideas for that, but nothing right now that I can say that it's official. So. I actually have something. Thank you. Okay, so, as most of you know, Eric and I met last year, and he is moving with me to Virginia, and we are finally going to be together on vacation. I thought, what could I possibly do that could welcome him home to be with us? And I'm getting choked up. I'm sorry.
Don't cry. Don't cry.
You guys have to understand something. This man means the world to me. More than anything I've ever had before in my life.
I love you with all of my heart, and I cannot wait until we are together for the rest of our lives. Will you marry me? We're supposed to be on a lot later than that. Oh my god, it fits perfect! How did you guess? I said he had big sausage fingers. Oh, by the way, your mom knew. And Stacy knew, and Abby knew. And your aunts know. And your sisters. And my brother, and my sister. And we have, she bought something just so we can do this, but we have fun stuff. And we have fun stuff. Champagne and all this fun stuff. Did he say yes? That would have been awkward.
Congratulations.
Facebook is coming. Can you pull over? Just don't shoot anybody in the eye.
I don't know how to.
No, give that to someone else.
We need some seagulls.
Oh, I will not. I'm going to do it like so.
That's the end of our Q&A.
I think you guys will probably get the award.
So now we won't see you for the rest of the weekend.
Maybe 2014 GRL, we have a wedding. Okay, you can leave now.